You just asserted that.
Go on, record it. I don't care.
What?
Well, someone was saying recording.
You guys have to talk one at a time, though. You can't overtalk each other.
Yeah, it does make my head hurt as well. He says that there is something relative to another, then continues to say that everything is still simple, and then is attacking me because I'm supposedly strawmanning his position.
You just asserted that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity. You just said
that. I did not assert that. I demonstrated that.
Yes. No, you didn't demonstrate anything.
Is there something other than the sun? Is there something other than the sun?
Is
there something other than the sun? That's the question.
The sun?
Is there something other than the second person?
Yeah.
So there is no simplicity because there is otherness.
No, that doesn't mean there's
no simplicity. Is the otherness real?
Hold on. Are you gonna let me speak?
Yeah. So after you answer the question, I'm asking a question.
Hold on. Divine simplicity
is asking a question.
Absolutely incompatible with absolute distinction.
Because so there is something other than.
Hold on. Are you gonna let me?
I was still asking a question. Then you can answer. You can speak after I asked you the question.
No.
There is something other than the sun.
But you're not letting me finish my point.
Well, I'm still asking the question. That is why I'm not letting you finish. There's nothing to finish because you're engaging with me. And me, I still have a question. So is there something other than the one, yes or no?
I said there are three persons,
I asked Father, you Son, question, and Holy Ghost. Is there something other than the second person?
How many times should I say yes?
Okay, so there is something more than one. So
I
there's
said yes.
So how can you
make
multiplicity compatible with simplicity?
Can I speak?
Yeah, go on.
No, but you're gonna cut me off this time.
Make multiplicity.
Okay, wait. Anwar, don't interrupt him this time.
No, wallahi, I'm not going to interrupt. Yes.
Okay, but you will. We'll see. We'll see how that.
Yeah. Okay, just mute yourself. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. As I said, the divine simplicity is absolutely incompatible with the absolute distinction, because in absolute distinctions, for example, in the case of the divine attributes, if the divine attributes are really distinct from the divine essence, then the essence is in potency to its principles of actuality, which means the essence from all eternity stands in relation as potency does to act, which means the God is composed of potency and actuality. But in the case of relative distinctions, there is nothing that the persons stand in potency to actuality, because the actuality by which Father is actual and subsistent is the divine essence. And likewise, the actuality by which Son is subsistent and actual is the divine essence. And since there's no real distinction between them, there's no composition of potency and act. So a relative distinction is not like the absolute distinction.
Yeah, so in other words, you have demonstrated that in reality there is no otherness.
What do you
mean? I just terminology, but
so you're not even listening to me, right?
No. Listen.
No, you
you're not going to use this terminology.
You didn't listen. Okay, repeat what I said.
So not relevant. So you have basically demonstrated that. Let me talk. I let you talk.
You just want to speak. You don't want to make points. No, you're not. You don't.
Bro, let me talk. Let me talk. I let you talk.
Let him talk.
So in reality, the guy, he's just trying to make people dizzy with this terminology. But in reality, he has just admitted that in reality, there is no otherness, which means that there's no multiplicity, which means that there are no many persons. So if you use divine simplicity to justify this preceding relationship, but cannot explain the manyness of persons, then you have not explained your position on the filioque, which means that your justification is invalid. It is invalid because in reality you have dismissed otherness. So divine simplicity, you have basically just one person or one thing. There is no many things.
Okay, you're done?
Yes, go on.
Yeah. I just showed that how there's a plurality of divine relations, that is the relative opposition between the persons. And you said, so you've demonstrated there's no plurality. I didn't say that. I said there's a plurality, but it's relative. It's not absolute in the case of divine attributes.
So in reality, there's nothing other. In reality,
there is. How many times should I say there
there's
is?
more than one that negates
Yes,
simplicity.
there's more than one
So
relation
in reality, in actuality, there's more than one that negates simplicity.
There's more than
no,
it doesn't, because
that is exactly what negates
it
simplicity.
isn't
If something
absolute.
is
You
if something is actual,
don't even know
what is the point of saying
Tell me.
absolute and relative if
Because
it's anything other
the
than?
Wait, let him answer.
because the absolute distinction causes composition of potency and act.
So what is the point of saying absolute and relative if you admit that in reality there's something other than the one?
I just said that because absolute causes the composition
not
of
relevant.
potency and act.
The fine simplicity holds that there's nothing other than.
No, hold on. You
No,
can't
you're
comprehend
just
what I'm
trying to
saying
apply.
because you don't
No,
know
you're
what an
trying
absolute
to apply
distinction
a
is.
terminology.
No,
This terminology cannot be applied if in reality there's more than one.
No. Just because you don't understand the terminology doesn't mean
No,
it's
you're
false.
trying to
you're
use
not
a terminology no one understands because you cannot explain to me how.
I'm adding timers for both of you, 2-minute timers, so that you guys can't speak over each other. You're going to be muted until the other person's timer is done. 1 second, I'm setting it up right now. Okay, Astro's going to go first. 1 second. Astro, you can start now.
Yeah, okay, but before I start, I want to make sure that he will listen to me this time. Because every time I make a point, he just starts going off the same. He just starts making new points without addressing any of mine.
Okay, yeah, well, now there's a timer, so you can't get interrupted. So.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he said that there can't be a plurality of relations because that would negate divine simplicity. Now, he hasn't shown any argument that proves that divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity. Now, I already conceded that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity if the distinction is absolute. That is like the case of divine attributes. Because in the case of divine attributes, since the divine essence and attributes, since the attributes are principles of actuality of the divine essence, it stands in potency to those actualities. And in anything that is composed of potency, an act that is imperfect. But in the case of Trinity, there isn't a composition of potency and act because the essence by which Father, Son, and Holy subsist is the one and the same essence, and they are identical to it. So it's not like Father is an actuality and essence is in potency, as essence needs those actuality, and vice versa. They are identical, and since they are identical, there is no composition of potency and act.
Fucking hate this nigga, bro.
Bruh. I'm finished.
Are you done? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Astro, mute yourself. Okay, Jenna, your time starts now.
Wait, 5 seconds.
Okay.
Tell something to my mom.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, so like
you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So
okay,
just what this guy is saying, he's not engaging with the meaning of my objection. He's just bringing up a terminology issue. No one cares about your terminology. If in reality this relative distinction is real, then there's more than one, then there's otherness. If in reality this absolute distinction is real, then there's still more than one. So playing with words is not going to help you. If a relative distinction here poses a real otherness, then you have dropped the fine simplicity. So playing with terms will not refute anything of what I've said. And if you cannot handle this objection of the fine simplicity, you cannot use the fine simplicity to justify a theological position, because if the justification is wrong, then you can then the theological position, if this justification is necessary, must be also wrong. But I'm not going to that field. So we're just going to conclude on. Oh my gosh, I've not debated like for months, but so otherness, if this is real, then you have no defined simplicity, and if you have no defined simplicity, then your justification is wrong. And if this otherness is not real, then you have no relative distinctions. And if these relative distinctions relate to otherness, then we're just going back to the beginning. Can you make otherness compatible with something that negates it, namely defined simplicity? So I'm just trying to say, do not play with terms. You can play with meanings, of course, that's no problem. But do not
10
play with
seconds.
terms. No one cares about the potentiality, actuality. If in
5
reality
seconds.
there's other thing, if in reality there's something other, then you're done.
Okay,
You have
time.
conceded to that, so you're done.
Mute yourself, please. Astra, are you ready?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ash'ari.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, your time starts now.
Okay. So again, he just said that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity, with no arguments. He just asserts that if there's a relative opposition which causes three relations of opposition, that would somewhat prove that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity. But that's just his assertion. He doesn't give any arguments for that. And he said that the potentiality and actuality doesn't matter. Why? Why? What's your point? What do you even mean? If the potentiality and actuality doesn't matter, then the divine simplicity. Why are we even speaking about divine simplicity? If there is a potentiality and actuality in God, that would mean God is composite of potentiality and actuality. That's the composition, and that results when you confess that there's a real absolute distinction between the divine attributes. But the Trinity, in the case of Trinity, we do not have an absolute distinction. How many times should I say that? There is no absolute distinction between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. The distinction is relative only between the persons. And that's why the divine simplicity is not incompatible with the Trinity, because divine simplicity wants to negate all composition, and a relative distinction, since it's not absolute and doesn't result in composition of potency and act, it doesn't negate divine simplicity. Now, the burden of proof is on you, because you have to show why divine simplicity is incompatible. Simply asserting that it's incompatible is not an argument.
Okay, so if what you have
Oh,
stated about the
wait.
can I talk? Okay.
Wait, yeah, let me restart the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Astra, are you muted?
So it's only
Okay.
real with relations to another. So you have more than one because you have another. So that is basically the point. But anyway, so you're just garbaging nonsense. No one cares about the terms. If the relative distinction corresponds to something that is more than one, because in order to be relative to another, you have to have more than one, which is exactly the point of my objection. If you have more than one, then no defined simplicity. If no defined simplicity, then your justification for your filioquity position is also wrong. So again, can you unmute yourself? Can you answer a simple question? Is this relative position in reality, distinction in reality real? Because in order to be relative to another, you must have another. But if you have another, then you have no defined simplicity anymore, which is enough to refute you. That is basically the point. If that is true, then you have been refuted, because otherness refutes defined simplicity. So conceding to real otherness, whether it's absolute or not, no one cares. Stop playing word games. It's about the meaning. If there's some otherness in reality, then there's no defined simplicity, which is the point of my objection. So engage with it. Do not play word games. No one cares about the terminology. No one is scared of it. We engage with the meanings.
Okay, now Anwar, mute
They're
yourself.
funny. No one cares. Engage with the meaning.
Okay, mute yourself now. Astro, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Again, he just repeated the same point. He just said the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity. Why? Because he says so. There's no argument. He said that the potentiality and actuality is relevant again, and he didn't give an argument for why it's relevant. And that's what he does. Every time he has spoken, he has just said that it contradicts it because I say so. Where's your proof for that? Can you unmute yourself?
Well,
Yeah.
I think you
What's the
need to
proof?
listen to
I'm
my
asking
argument.
you
I
for the
asked
proof.
you
No,
something.
Wait.
hold
Well,
on.
he's not
You just
engaging
said
with me.
there's a plurality, then the divine
He
simplicity
asked me to
is
unmute
negated.
myself.
Give me,
Asked me
yeah.
to unmute
And I'm
myself.
asking you a question.
So what's the, no?
Yeah, so
You're not
let
going
me
to.
ask the
You're not going to
question, and then
interrogate me. I'm just going to point
no,
out, answer the question: is this relative distinction there in reality?
it's
Is it
my
there?
time.
Is it,
I'm the one who's
Wait,
okay,
it's
then
on
do not ask
Astro's
me to
time.
hold
unmute
on,
myself.
hold
Do
on.
not ask me to unmute myself then.
Yes, because I wanted to ask a question and you're not letting me finish my
No, I'm
point.
not going to be interrogated.
Okay, Astro, keep going.
No, because I want to ask him a question. You said
Okay,
the
wait, what's the question?
plurality of you said the plurality
And
of
ask the question. I will note it
okay,
and will
I'm
answer.
going to.
Hey, wait, let him
You
ask
said
it.
the plurality
You
of divine
lied,
relations
Jay.
negates divine simplicity. And you said because the numbers multiplied, divine simplicity is negated. How's that an argument?
Okay, are you done, Astro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Answer this question. Don't
Okay.
beat around the bush. Answer this question.
Anwar, just answer the question. Okay, now you're unmuted.
Yeah, so is it my turn or am I being interrogated? Because if I'm being interrogated, then I'm not going to answer the question. If it's my turn, then I'm going to answer the question.
No, that's because
Okay,
you
yeah,
can't
it's your
answer
turn.
the
It's your
question.
turn.
No, this is a
Yeah.
2 minute. This is not a interrogation.
Okay, yeah.
Because if it's going to become an interrogation, then there is no 2 minutes anymore. Then we're going to talk now, right now.
Okay,
So
it's
do you
your
want
turn.
to go
I'm
with
done.
2
I'm
minutes, 2
done.
minutes?
I'm done.
Or do
But
you want,
just
no,
answer
don't run
my
away, don't
question.
run away.
Guys,
No,
wait.
I'm saying I'm done
You
with
did
my
not ask
time.
my
You
question.
can speak, but answer my question first.
Bro, this guy's just trying to run away.
No, you're just
Do
running
you
away
want to
because
go
you
with
can't
2
prove
minutes, 2
any
minutes?
point.
Do you want
Yeah,
to
wait.
go with 2 minutes, 2 minutes?
Yeah, do you
Or
guys
do you
want
want
a
to go with
2 minute?
question answer?
I said I'm done speaking. Now answer my question. It's
Oh
your
my
turn.
gosh, is this a
Yeah.
2 minute, or is
Yeah,
this
it's
a
2 minutes, but answer
question
It's
my
2
answer?
minutes.
question.
2 minutes.
Okay, so
It's 2 minutes.
so if it's a 2 minute, then I will answer you in my
Okay.
2 minutes.
Okay, wait.
Okay.
Astro, can you mute yourself now?
Yeah.
Okay, Anwar, are you ready? Let me know when to start.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready. So this guy is basically accusing me of not engaging with his point. I am engaging with your point. I asked you a question. Is there something in reality other than more than one? Is there in reality more than one? Stop playing word games. No one cares about the words. We care about the meanings. So in reality, whatever the fuck you say, in reality, is there more than one, yes or no? If no, then there's no Trinity. If yes, then there's no simplicity. If there's no simplicity, then you have not justified your theological position. So again, in reality, something we all understand just by introspection, in reality, is there something more than one, yes or no? If no, then you're done. Then there is no Trinity. If yes, then you're also done because then there is no simplicity. This is simple. Stop being a Thomist. Stop being a Thomist. No one cares about the terms. We care about the meaning. We're not sophists.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I've been
Okay.
done like since the beginning.
Okay, now mute yourself.
Can I
Okay.
speak?
Yeah, you can start now.
Yeah, okay. He just keeps embarrassing himself. He has already asserted for many times that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity. And he doesn't give any argument. He just says if the relations is multiplied, then simplicity is negated. Why is that the case? I'm just asking you, why is that the case? Why is it that if the relation is multiplied, the simplicity is negated? If the relations of opposition do not import any composition on the side of God? I'm done
So
speaking.
so is
Oh,
this an answer to my
hold on,
question?
hold on.
Wait,
So is this a yes or no?
Morphe.
Yes or
wait.
no?
Hold on.
Okay, Astro, are you done with your time?
No, hold on. I have a
Okay.
question. He's been asserting that the divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity, and he just says that because the relations are multiplied, that somehow means that the divine simplicity is negated because simplicity is at odds with the plurality of divine relations. Asking him to give an argument for that. He just keeps asserting that's the case. Why is it the case? You're just saying the relation is multiplied, then simplicity negated. Why? I want to know why is that the case? Answer my question. Stop running away.
Well, I did not ask. I did not say that. Like, do you have some
Yeah,
answers?
Okay,
you
wait.
absolutely said that.
So none of this answers the question. Is there
Wait.
something in reality other than yes or no?
Yes,
So
there are
in
three
reality,
relations of opposition that
there's
constitute
Wait,
three
multiplicity.
persons.
wait. Astro, you're done with your time, okay? So I'm gonna can you mute yourself? And then Anwar, you can go on with your time now.
Yeah. So this guy, he's just trying to play a word game. No one cares about your word game. So everyone has noticed that I've asked a question like repeatedly. Is there something other than? Is there something other than? And then you have accused me of not making an argument. If there is something other than, then how can there be simplicity? If there is something other than, then in order to distinguish the otherness, you have to have more than one. You have to have simplicity. You have to have multiplicity. Because if you cannot distinguish the otherness, then there is no then there is no multiplicity, then there is no otherness. So the question is, in reality, is there something more than one or not? If you say yes, then how can there be simplicity? Because simplicity would be that there's nothing there to be distinguished. Now, in reality, if there's nothing more than one, then how can you have more persons? In reality, we're just using simple words that people understand by introspection. In reality,
Are you done?
yeah. Go on.
Okay, you can mute. Astro, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, he gave no argument for the incompatibility with of the divine simplicity and the Trinity. He just asserted for the 10th time that because the relations are multiplied, the divine simplicity is negated. I want to know why is that the case. He says simplicity means that there is no plurality. No, simplicity doesn't say that. What divine simplicity wants to avoid is the composition. If the Trinity can account perfectly without contradicting the divine simplicity, then we can have divine simplicity with the Trinity. We do not have to throw away the divine simplicity. And Thomism can account for the Trinity because in Thomism we believe in relative distinction. We do not believe that there is an absolute distinction between the persons. Now, if there were any absolute distinctions, that would contradict the divine simplicity because absolute distinction, as I've demonstrated, import composition of potency and act, but a relative distinction, as I've shown, does not. Now, again, and I know that you're not going to answer my question, but I'm going to ask you, and everyone will see that you have no argument. Why divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity just because the relations are multiplied? If the divine simplicity and Trinity are incompatible, as you say, because the relations are multiplied, I want to know why is that the case. Don't just assert it, prove it. Prove how the plurality of relations imports composition in the divine essence. Just prove that. You can't. Just admit that you can't.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, mute yourself, please. And
Okay,
wait,
so
Anwar, before you start,
yeah, but I'm not going to play a game with you. So
okay,
unmute
wait,
yourself and answer
wait,
my
wait.
question. Is there something other than yes or no?
Oh my god.
Unmute yourself.
Wait,
Okay.
please.
But
Hold
he's
on.
not answering the question.
I
I've
am.
like
Hold
asked
on.
this question three
Everyone,
times. Is there
listen to me.
something
Listen
other
to me.
than?
I said everyone
Is there
listen.
something other
Okay,
than
wait,
yes or no?
Okay,
Jenna,
will you
Jenna,
let
when
me
as he's
speak?
Yeah, I
answering,
will if you are
No,
going
but
to
you're
answer.
asking me question and talking over me. Just let me.
Jenna,
Because
Jenna,
you're
mute
not
yourself first,
listening.
and then he'll answer. Mute yourself while he answers.
If you want answers, then
No,
stay quiet.
I can be quiet, of course.
Yeah, okay. Now ask your question.
So you did not listen.
No, I
Okay,
did
just please
because
just
I
Is
repeat
there
want
it.
in
everyone to
reality
hear for
something
the
more
second
than
time.
one? So in reality,
Yes,
there's something more
there
than
are
one.
4 relations of
In reality,
opposition.
no. I
Yes,
was
hold
talking.
on.
I was talking about purities. Is there more than one thing?
What do you mean more than one
Did
thing?
you say Trinity?
Specify that.
So you cannot individuate an essence by itself. There's existence. So is there more than one thing that exists?
What do you
Existence
mean
cannot
one
be.
thing?
So
That's
so
that's
so
meaningless.
you're asking me
No, that's not a
to
question.
define essence. You cannot define essence. That is impossible. You cannot
That's
define
not a
essence.
question.
Well,
What do you
that is
mean?
exactly your question because that is
No,
what I mean with
hold
thing.
on.
That is what I
You
mean with
said,
thing.
is there more than one thing?
Yeah,
One what?
Yeah, and I'm at
One
yeah.
what?
So
One what?
bro,
Tell
I'm
me.
so let
gonna
me
mute
talk.
both of you.
So
Chill, chill, chill,
so
chill.
if I talk
Bro,
about thing, I'm just referring
This
to
guy's a
essences.
troll.
No,
bro, chill,
listen.
chill.
So
You're a
so I'm
troll.
talking about essences. Is there more than one essence?
There is just one essence, one single essence.
Jenna.
Bro,
And everyone noticed that he hasn't
you,
given any argument for the
bro,
incompatibility of the Trinity and
one
divine
second.
simplicity.
Guys, listen. You're both gonna have 2 minutes time. You're not gonna talk over each other. So now, Anwar go. After that, Astro can go. So Astro, mute yourself for now.
I mean, that's kind of useless, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can like just leave at any time. Like if you like,
Well, you
Yeah,
can,
but
but
he's
you
not
don't want
giving
the
an
discussion
argument.
going.
not before like answering my question. Like
If
you know
I
what?
just answered you.
No, you asked me what an essence is. How it individuates. You
I
cannot.
didn't ask
You
you
cannot.
anything about
Oh, you
what
did
an
not ask
essence
me
is.
anything. So you did not ask me anything. So what am I not answering here?
Wait, no, he did
You're
ask.
just
He did ask.
repeating
Okay.
yourself. Shut up. Shut up. Let me talk. So the question was, is there more than one thing? And with thing, I just mean essence. With essence, I cannot mean anything because you cannot define an existent essence. Maybe in Thomism you can, but in my philosophy you cannot. You cannot define what it means for something to be individuated in words. You cannot do that. That's just for something to exist, which you can also not define because you need existence to define that. So your
Okay.
question is just, I don't know, it's incorrect. No,
Okay.
according to yourself, you didn't even ask a question. But anyways, is there more than one? Yes or no?
Okay. Wait. Are you done?
No, I'm not. I want him to answer my question. If he does, then I'm done.
Okay. Can you mute yourself while he answers?
Okay, no problem.
Astro, you can unmute and answer the question.
Yeah, okay. First off, I didn't say that. I didn't ask him to define an essence. That's a lie. I asked him to give an argument for why divine simplicity is incompatible with the Trinity if the relations are multiplied. And he hasn't given an argument yet, and everyone can see that he hasn't. Now, he asked me a question. Is there more than one thing? He has to define what does he mean by that? If he means relations of opposition, yes, there are 4 relations of opposition and 3 personal relations of opposition, which constitute 3 persons. And yes, we're perfectly fine with that because the distinction is relative. Now, that's my time. Yeah, I'm done speaking.
Okay.
So what is it relative? Because in order to have some relative,
Persons themselves.
you're cringe.
Persons
So are the
themselves. How many
persons
times
real?
should I say that?
So there is something relative between more than one. So
I just
there's
said
more than
yes.
one. Yeah.
I've
So
been
how
saying
can
that for more
that is
than an hour.
multiplicity? So is that
There is
multiplicity? You have more than.
multiplicity according to relative opposition, not absolute
So is that
opposition.
so is that in reality the case? Is there in reality
In
multiplicity?
reality, it is in reality.
So in reality there's more than
Yes,
one.
in
So in
reality, there is more
reality there's
than
not
one
one thing.
relation, not essence.
So
More than
okay,
one
so
relation.
in reality there's no one thing. There's are many things because in
No,
reality there's more than one.
what do you mean by thing?
Okay.
Define that. Not defining.
So you're
that.
now asking me to define what an individuated essence is?
No, you
cannot
said in
define what an
reality there's more
individuated
than one thing. What do you mean by that thing?
So
Define
what
that.
I mean with thing is an individuated essence, something real.
What do you mean something real?
From something
That's
real,
just
I mean an
meaningless.
individuated
No, that's
essence.
meaningless.
Something cannot be real and not be an essence.
What do you mean
Only
something cannot be
only
real
essences are individuated, okay?
Oh,
So
and what does that prove?
yeah, so that proves that there's more than one in reality. So in reality, you agree that there's not one, but more than one.
How many times should I say that there's
So in reality,
more than one
there's no one.
relation of opposition?
So in reality, that is basically the question. In reality, there's no one. There are many.
I said there's more than
That is
one
my
relation.
point. So you have no one.
You're
You have
not letting
many.
me finish my.
You have many.
Wait,
You have
let
no
him
one
finish. Let him
anymore.
finish. Let him finish.
Who is him?
Hold on. I keep telling you that there's more than one relation of opposition, and you change.
Yeah, and I asked you, is that
yes,
real? You
more
said
than one relation of opposition.
in
You said
reality,
one
there's
thing.
more than one. Yeah, you said that it
More
was
than one
real,
what?
which was enough for
One
me
what?
to conclude
You're
that
just
there's
saying more than one thing. One what?
is more than one thing. So in a relation, in order for it to exist, it must be a thing. It must be an essence. You cannot have something that is not an essence.
No, hold on. No, all of them subsist by the same essence. There's no contradiction. You haven't demonstrated that there's a contradiction.
Well, I did, because if the
No, you
relation
didn't.
is real, if the relation is real, if it exists, then there's more than one.
So what? I've already conceded.
Yeah,
there's
but
more than
there's not one
relation of
in reality.
opposition.
There's not one. There's many in reality.
Yes, there's more than
So
one.
there is no one. You have many.
Yes, there's many.
So how do you have one God if there's many?
Hold on.
So there is no one and many. The many is here.
Hold on.
So that is the one and many problem. You have now many. You have.
Okay,
Are
Astra,
you a
respond.
retard or
He
what?
said.
I want to know that because you just can't comprehend what I'm saying. Can you unmute him,
Okay.
please? Yeah. I said, can you even comprehend what I'm saying? I said
Bro,
there's
yeah,
more
I
than one
can. You're
relation
just
of.
trying to.
Okay,
Yeah.
I said
Wait.
there's one essence and three
What is the
relations of
relation? What is the
opposition.
relation?
Now,
Okay, what's the
the
relation?
burden of proof is on you
What is
to
a
show
relation?
how
What is a relation?
a subsisting relation.
Is a relation real, like an essence or something? Is it an essence?
No, it's not.
What do you mean a relation is an essence?
Is a relation an essence?
Relation is ordination of one thing towards the another.
So is that real? Is that an essence?
But it is real if you mean it's multiplied on the account of multiplicity of the divine essence.
So is that an essence? Yes or no?
What do you mean it's an essence?
It's
relation. Relation is ordination of one thing towards the another.
Yeah, and now
and it is identical with the same divine essence.
Is that an essence or not? Is that an abstraction of there being a causal relation?
No, it's a real relation identical
is
to
that
the divine
real relation an essence or not?
Wait.
I just answered you. It's a real
Is that
relation
real
identical
relation?
to
Yeah,
divine
but
essence.
is that real relation an essence?
What do you?
No, I'm asking you a question. Is that real relation an essence?
Oh my lord. Stop screaming, interrupting. Okay, you asked him a question and let him answer. Mute yourself now, please.
No, he tried to answer. Now I'm questioning his answer. Is
Okay,
that real relation an essence or not?
I just answered you.
Okay, wait. The question is
relation is ordination of one thing towards the another. If there are three relations, that means that there are three persons. There are three personal relations constitute three persons. It doesn't mean there are three essences.
Okay. Now, Anwar, you can respond to that, but don't scream.
Yeah, I'm not screaming. So the answer is no. They are not essences. So what are they? So you said that they are origination from one thing to another. Is that an essence? You said from one thing to another. Is that an essence? But if it's not an essence, what is it?
I said relation is an ordination of one thing towards the another.
What is that?
That by which it subsists is the divine essence.
What is that from one thing to another? What is that? I do not understand that. What is that?
What do you mean, what is that?
Yeah, I'm asking you to define it. Like, can you abstract it? What is it?
I just said that the relation is ordination of one thing towards the another.
What is an origination or ordination from one thing to another? What is that?
I just said that that's what
No,
it is.
you said it's
No,
from one thing to
wait.
another. I'm asking you, what
Yes.
is that one thing from another? What is that?
It means the relation of Father to the Son in the case of the Trinity, if
But
that's what
what
you're
is
asking.
that relation? What is it? What is that relation? That is
It's a
my question.
subsisting suppositum. It's a hypostasis.
Okay, what is that? What is this?
It's
What
a
is an
hy-
hypostasis? Is that an essence?
What do you mean it's an essence?
So now a hypostasis is an essence, a relation.
It is identical to the essence.
So it is not other than the essence.
No, it's not other than the essence.
So it is the essence. So the Father is the essence, and the Son is also the essence.
Yeah,
So how do you still have many other things? You
because
said
Father
in
and Son are
reality there's
opposed.
more than one.
Because Father and Son are opposed.
But how can they be opposed if the essence is simple?
What's the problem with that?
Well, if they are both the same, if they are both identical to the essence, then how can they be opposed to each other?
Because Son proceeds from the Father.
So there is something other
Begetter
in
and
the essence.
begotten.
So the essence
Hold
is
on.
opposite to itself.
That by which they subsist is the divine essence.
So
Hold
is
on.
the essence opposite to itself?
Okay.
Hold
Oh
on.
my God.
Hold on. Are you gonna let you speak?
No, I'm not going to let you speak
Okay,
because
then
I'm
what's the
asking
point?
questions. Because I'm asking questions.
Okay.
Anwar,
I'm
Anwar.
asking
There's no-
questions.
Okay, Astro, you can answer the question now.
I just said that he said if they're identical, how are they distinct? I said that because the Father and Son are really opposed to each other, because Son proceeds by the way of intellect from the Father, and begetter and begotten, or filiation and paternity, are opposed relations, and that's why how they are distinct. That's why they're really distinct in reality.
Okay, Anwar, do not scream now when I unmute you, and don't interrupt.
But by the
How
way,
can
you
you not
didn't give
mute
an
me?
argument for the
Well, I
incompatibility
did.
of the divine essence.
So
No,
the
you didn't.
Son and the Father are opposite, yet they are identical to the essence. So the essence is opposite to itself.
The divine essence is self-relational.
So it's opposite to itself.
It's self-relational.
So it's opposite to itself.
If by
Is it
opposite you mean
itself?
relative opposite,
I
hold
asked
on.
you something.
Wait,
It's opposite
calm
to
down.
itself. I'm asking him questions. Is it opposite to itself?
If it's relational, yes.
So it is in some kind opposite to itself.
Yes, because the paternity, filiation, and procession are
So
in
in
the
some
divine
way,
essence.
there's more than one in the essence.
No.
So
More
so
than
there's
one
not.
essence or more than
So
one
it's not
relation?
opposite to itself.
Hold
So the
on,
Father
hold on,
and Son are not
hold on.
identical.
The paternity really exists in the divine essence.
Yeah.
Filiation exists in
So
the
if
divine
that
essence.
means that there's
But
opposition
filiation,
between. Yeah, but
I
it's my
said
time
that
to
there's
talk.
an
Is it my time to
opposition.
talk or is it him time to talk? So it's my time to talk. So if the two are identical to the essence and they are opposite to each other, is the essence opposite to itself? If you say in reality no, then what is it like really the distinction here?
I just said that the paternity, filiation, and procession exist in the
Asked
divine
you to
essence, and
answer
they
a
are
yes or no
opposite.
question. It
I
wasn't.
just said that. Okay, so you don't even
So
want
is the
answers,
essence
right?
opposite to itself?
If by essence you mean the relational oppositions, that is the
No, with essence I
procession,
mean like
filiation, and generation.
the being of God. You're now going to ask me to define being because you cannot answer the question. You're now going to ask me to define something that cannot be defined. So if the two are identical to the essence and they are opposite to each other, then the essence is opposite to itself, which is a contradiction because the essence is simple and one.
Yeah, but you haven't shown any argument why divine simplicity is incompatible with the
The two are
Hold on.
opposite to each other. They are identical to the essence, yet the essence is not opposite to itself.
What do you even mean
Okay, wait.
by
Can you
that?
mute yourself?
Trinity
It's
and
okay.
filiation are opposed.
Bro,
They really exist in God.
yeah, so the essence to itself. So in reality, their essence opposites itself.
No, not if it's absolute.
So there's no opposition, like in reality.
If it's absolute.
What? So if they are both in reality, what is the distinction here between absolute and relative? Is it real, yes or no? If it's
I said distinction is real, but it's relative. It's not absolute. Because it doesn't stand in potency and act. It's not a composition of potency and act.
Why is he being muted? Why are you muting him? It's a debate. Why
Yes.
Newton's?
So basically, Astro is trying to run away from the problem. So there are two
I'm not
persons.
running away.
They're opposite to each other. They are both identical to the essence. Therefore, the essence is opposite to itself, which is a contradiction because the essence
It's
is
not a
simply one.
contradiction.
So there
Essence
is
is
no. So
simple.
does the opposite?
How
So
the
does the essence
plurality
know
of
itself?
Wait, calm
of the
down. You can't ask a
I
plurality.
question
can't.
and then interrupt him.
Murphy, I'm not
Okay.
talking with you. And why is he not being muted?
Well, because he's not interrupting you.
Well, he
If he
is
starts to
because
interrupt, I'll
I'm
mute
making
him.
a point. Then he is saying no, no, no.